Welcome to Lillehammer. We are now standing at the Olympic Park here where for 30 years ago on this date while we were filming they were skiing, they were jumping, they were hockeying. This was the center of events for 30 years ago and now we are the center of event with a brand new SETRA 515HD. Daimler came to Norway just to show us this vehicle. They took all the way up to snowy and icy Norway to test drive and to give us the possibility to test drive this vehicle. And personally, I have never been driving this vehicle with the new electronic steering. So I'm so excited to see how this will be. But now we will take a little drive into the inland of Norway. We will find snowy roads and beautiful scenery. And before we start the video, feel free, give us a subscribe, give us a like, and hey, don't forget us also on Instagram. We're also present there with a lot of great photos of buses and coaches from all over the world. So welcome to this test drive of the SETRA 515HD.
What a waste of love.
Welcome on board the SETRA 515HD. I was just sitting down in my little recliner of the seat. This is absolutely just comfortable and you can turn the chair perfectly. So one day when you get this totally automated, I can sit like a driver and I can have a TV there by the door. This is going to be a great future. No, I don't hope we will get there ever. But now let's take a little look on the driver's compartment before we'll hit the road here in Norway, in home base country, with this beauty of a coach. Like we see, there is nothing new outside. It is the coach that you know from before. We have the new lists and the new SETRA logo, and we do also have all the features and safety equipment that SETRA now offers. And we will take a closer look on those during this little video. Fasten the seatbelt. And then we can see that we have a little button here down to the left, and that's the start engine button. And this is actually the first time I'm driving the SETRA with the electrical powered steering. So I'm very curious to try it out. So let's see how much you can adjust here. You can take it quite far up towards you and in and out. You have, yeah, it's okay. And I can already now feel that the steering is very light and good. And you have great servo. It comes really back to position. So this will be very pleasurable. So now we are ready to hit the road. But before we go, I will just reset the consumption on the bus. So I go into my menu system. I will come down to the right position and I will reset it so we have zeros. So we will see how much fuel we have consumed on this trip. We also have full bus with weight. We have dolls in the seats, so we will have a very realistic test for the consumption use on the vehicle. So let's hit the road. And this is one of my first time ever driving the brand new SETRA with the new steering and with the new safety systems. Somehow I avoided all the events and all the press tests with these buses and coaches. So now I'm really excited to try it out. So today we are driving a brand new 2-axle SETRA. It's the 515HD. The engine is the OM470 with 410 horsepower. It has 2,200 Newton meters and have the 8-step power shift transmission. Beautiful little configuration on this coach, and I'm really excited to see what this coach can provide us on the next 2 days on Norwegian roads. On board this SETRA, we do have 44 seats, and with this seat number, it means that you have great capacity, also comfort between all the seats. Perfect for a long distance coach travel, so I like it when you don't stuff the bus with too many seats. On board here there is also this dummy dolls filled with, well, I think it's water, but we know this coach is from Germany, so I guess it's beer. So we have a realistic weight compared to this driving test. All the seats are equipped with the USB ports. In this particular coach you have both A and C, but you can choose to only have the A or only have the C in double version. There is a 230 volts here in the front and also in the back door. And in the back door, or middle door is the right definition on this bus, there is also the toilet. We are now driving the most modern coach from Setra. We are having the ABA 5 in this coach, but ABA 6 is coming right around the corner. So maybe when this film is released, this bus is way too old, so we have to do it again. A new test with a new coach in another part of Norway. Where do you want to see us go next time? That could be a fun vote. Send us some suggestions and we might fulfill them. We also have the side guard assist here. I've only been trying them on the test field, so let's see how it is in real life conditions. And I heard Tom told me earlier today that you really need to hold on the steering wheel when it happens. But this is like everything else in a coach. This is something you need to get used to, and I hope I will do that within these 2 days on the road. But what I really enjoy the most at the moment, after just 10-15 minutes of driving this coach, we do have the electric powered steering. It is based from the original hydraulic steering, but now it's so light. It's just like a competitor from Sweden that starts with V. They also have a very light steering. You can only use one finger to turn the wheel, and now you are really comfortable seated here. And I do drive Setra sometimes in my regular workplace in Norway, and they're both so heavy, and when you drive you're so tired after a long day. But here I'm not sure if I can even get close to tired in this vehicle. I need to say that I really appreciate sitting behind this steering wheel. The driving is extremely comfortable. The pedals is responsive. When you push the throttle, it's a nice flow. It doesn't kick you up to speed, but it doesn't go too slow. I think it's very comfortable and nice. On the dash we have everything that we are used to. We have the climate control here to my right. Here I can adjust to my right all the temperatures in the back, and to my left I have my own little private temperature measurement. We have a Bosch system for sound. I have been talking negatively about the Bosch systems before, but here we have a new modern version of the Bosch system, so maybe this works a lot better. Then we have the light switches, we have the hatch controls to lock them and unlock them, and then we can lower and raise the bus and the doors. We also have a screen for navigation. The display is like we are used to. Nothing happened here during the last year. Trip counter to the right, speedometer to the left, and the display in the middle where you see all the necessary information. What I like here to my left, we do have a quite big, it looks like an iPad, and here you have some screens. If I now start blinking to the left, then I get a 360 cam here on my left part of the screen. And I also get to see everything that happens to my left on the road. And if I then do it opposite way, I get to see what's happening on the right side. Then we have the tachograph to the left here, and here you can also control the sunscreens, but on the side, that's manual like we like it. Window is of course automatically, big nice side window, I like that a lot. And the most interesting buttons we have here to the left, of course here on the left we can adjust the steering wheel, but on the left there you can turn off the active steering wheel assistant. But underneath that button we have a bus icon with a tick mark on. So if I push that button right now, I will get a menu system here where I can see all the different active assistants that we have on the bus. For example, here is the brake assistant, here we have the side guard assist, we have the PPC, and there is even options within the PPC like speed and curves and everything. So here you can actually go in and tick off what you don't want to use at the moment. So let's say that now I don't want to use the side guard assist, for example, because I know we're coming into a windy, turny road. Then I can just go in and turn it off, and then it will be off within 10 first minutes. But that's because the general safety regulations want you to be as safe as possible as a driver. And one thing I'm really satisfied with in this coach is that we still have the analog mirror. I really expected to see this coach with digital mirrors, since that was the Busworld news in 2023. They were all lined up with the digital mirrors, and here they are still showing us the analog. Is that a sign that even Daimler still believes in analog mirrors? I hope so, because I really trust them better, I like them better, and you know that they always will work. There will be no digital issues like we have experienced on different vehicles when we have been driving. And you also are supported here with 360 cameras and also great side cameras, so you are covered in all kind of ways in the digital solutions. But I like that the main mirrors on this coach are still good old-fashioned analog.
Behind me you have the Setra S515HD. This coach is brand new and this is the facelift. Come with me and I will show you a little bit around. We have opened the flaps, and as you can see we have a spare tires. And I'm wondering, have you ever changed the spare tires on your coach? I don't know, but in some places it's mandatory, in other countries it's not. And it's also a part of the collision guard on the coach. Just above the spare tires you have the radar sensor. In here you have the sensor for the lane departure detector, and also the light sensor when you have this high beam and low beam. And on this coach you have a front door, you have a middle door. You see it's a wide entrance. You have a small kitchen in the front here. If you need to fill up the liquid for the window wipers, you have that in a small box here in the inside of the door. There's also a guide seat here. I just learned a new word, classic mirrors. And they have it on this beautiful Setra. You can see we call it analog mirrors. Now the new word is classic mirrors. But from next year you can even buy this with digital mirrors. On this one you have a big front screen and you have 3 window wipers. You have 1 on the top and you have 2 down in the bottom. On this coach you also have the 360 degrees bird view, and they are connected to a screen, so you can also separate all the cameras, so you can see the sides, you can see the back, front. Here you have 2 flaps. In the first you have the fuses for the coach, and just under that you can see the sensor for the side guard. And then you have 1 flap for the luggage, and since this have a middle door you only have 1 flap instead of 2 flaps that we wish we could have. When you have to empty or refill your tank, you can do it here. And you have something else. You have a heater, so you can use this toilet 24/7 the whole year around, even in cold Norway. Here you have 3 flaps. The first one after the middle door is the sleeping cabin. In this one you have an extra wall, so you can put in all your stuffs you need. Over the driveline you have more fuses and you have control boxes, and you also have the NATO connection if you need to give it extra power to start it in a hard winter condition. And here you have a flap. You can only open half of it on this one. You have space enough to put all your snow chains inside. You can also get it with a bigger flap, but that is something that you have to order when you buy the coach. Here you have the heart of the bus, 410 horsepower, and as you can see it's easy access to check the oil, the liquid. There's also a bottle where you can fill up liquid to wash the rear camera. In this engine compartment there's also a fire protection. And on the left side you can see we have opened all the flaps. On this coach we have weight on the coach, so it's 17-ton total weight on the coach, so we have a feeling how it is to drive with full of passenger and luggage. And in the front you can see we have the 2 battery packs, 1 big battery pack and 1 smaller battery pack. In front of the front axle you have the diesel tank. It's 400 liters. You can fill it from both sides, but the AdBlue is only for one side. Now I have been showing you around the coach. I put my ski on and I will take a ski jump from Lysgårdsbakken 30 years after the Olympic Games. We are on the way up to Gulsfjellet. I feel it's a little bit leak of torque in the beginning. It's like it's a little bit slowly climbing up. To be a coach is okay, but when you're driving up hills like this, I prefer maybe to put it on manual and do all the gear shifts with my own hands instead of letting the bus work But now today I will let the bus do the work and to see how it will behave on steep hills like this. The engine feels a little bit weak just in the beginning, but we have 17 tons on this coach. So of course it's really high RPM and it's on automatic. Just looking at the RPM now, we are close to 2100, 2200 RPM and it's in automatic. So for me it should have been shifting already. I will try to release the accelerator pedal a little bit and then try again. Yes. Now it's shifting gear, but this is something that you have to learn. Everything with this coach, everything with all the coaches, is that you need time. Get to know what function you have, what will happen when you do this and that. But still, I feel that when you start from zero, every gear shift is a little bit slow and then you get the push. I still have to wait for it. Now I will come to a 180 degrees curve, and it's important that you have space enough. You cannot just place it like a passenger car. You need to use the whole curve, and you have to be lucky to not meet a lot of cars or trucks coming downhill at the same time. Everyone has to be prepared that there can come a coach or a truck up hills, and they need to be the first one. So when you go down hills, drive slowly and always let the big one passing before you go into the curve. Now we are testing out the high beam assistant. It means that you put the coach on automatic on the light switch and turn on the high beam, and every time you meet a car or truck it will go down on low beam, and after a few seconds it's going up again in high beam. Now we are meeting a truck and it's already on low beam. It takes approximately 2.5 seconds before it's high beam. That's a little bit too long, because when I drive a coach and I have control over the light switch, I turn on the high beam as soon as I'm passing the truck and the car, so I can see if there is some obstacles in the front of me that I cannot see when I have the low beam. We can do it another test. Now there's a car coming in the front. We test it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14.
Switch off your light.
It's too slow for me, so I prefer to do it manually.
After 2 days on the road with this beautiful Setra, our trip is coming to an end. We have been driving inland in Norway on good roads, on bad roads. We have been climbing mountains, and we also have been climbing down the mountains. I have to say that this is a great vehicle. It's still a Setra, and you know it, but it's just an improved version of itself. It drives like a dream. The engine is robust, and I like the transmission. When you drive and you meet a hill, before Setra would gear up and down and change all the time and you will lose a lot of speed, now it keeps itself more stable in the transmission. But we had an experience with the throttle that you needed to lift the pedal to make it change, and then you also lose a little bit, so you need to just adapt to that. And we did drive the 3-axle version a couple of years ago on the western part of Norway, and then we realized that the side wind on this vehicle were horrible, and that was a 3-axle. We didn't have any issues on this with a 2-axle, so maybe it's even more stable, the drivetrain now. That will be better. And of course we have all this side guard assist, the electric powered steering, and the PPC. We didn't drive on cruise control almost for the whole trip. We like to drive manually to feel it, but the PPC we have been testing before other vehicles, so that we know is good. And I love the new steering. The electronic powered steering is just wonderful. What I'm not completely used to yet is the side guard assist. The steering wheel takes over all your control and power, so you just need to trust that what it's doing is the correct thing. And when I don't see the white stripes because of mud and snow, I don't trust the electronic system at all. So that we have been turning off actually. Our testing route ended up at a distance at 450 kilometers, and we were driving about 12 efficient driving hours. Our fuel consumption ended up by 30 liters per 100 kilometers, so we were a bit surprised about the high fuel consumption. but we were stopping and starting a lot to make photo and videos. All in all, great coach. It will be sad to leave this coach in Oslo back at the airport in Gardermoen. Thank you so much for watching the video here today. And if you like what you see, please click down here on the button. It's called subscribe. Then you will see all the future videos from us in Bussmagasinet, even extended version of Tom's Tech Talk. Have a great day. Until next time, drive safely.